Hello and welcome to Master Your Mindset with your host Isis Foster. This is the place to be for anyone who is on a personal development journey. I will be sharing with you my own mindset hacks and personal past experiences. Please subscribe and share if you enjoy what I'm about to share with you and you've taken value from it. You never know who may need to hear it. Welcome back, my favourite girlies. I am your host, Isis Foster, and I am so excited to share new value and information with you on today's podcast. If you haven't already, please make sure that you hit that subscribe button so that you never miss an episode of Master Your Mindset and you're always up to date with the new exciting information that I am sharing with you. If you've got a moment to as well, take a screenshot of what you're listening to and share on your social media platforms and tag me at Isis Foster 1. It would mean the world to me and it will also help to grow our community. So without no further ado, this week's episode is going to be helping all those girlies who are feeling a little bit lost and alone after the new year. And it's going to help them implement different changes into their lives, which is going to take them forward into living the best life that they possibly can. So it's no doubt that after the Christmas period and we've been socialising so much, those January blues are hitting in hard. And for everybody who listened to last week's episode, you'll know how to overcome those January blues. But for some girls, it's more than just the January blues. It's the blues which kick in February, in March, in April, in May, throughout the whole year. And it's those blues that you feel like you can never shift because they are constantly growing on you. So January especially is a really hard time because it's a period after such a big social event that people don't have enough money to go out. People are trying to do dry January. And if you're anything like me, whenever I go out, a drink is always involved. So a lot of people are just trying to rein in the amount of alcohol intake that they are having, especially after Christmas when every event involves drinking. So after January, a lot of us are kind of sat in that weird period between, okay, Christmas is over and now where's the summer? And it happens for quite a few months. I would say for me personally, it's January, February, and March, and then all of a sudden we have Easter and then everything becomes a little bit brighter. But if you are in that bit of a rut right now and you're feeling like those January blues are going on forever and you're a bit like, where is everyone? Where are all my friends? Why do I feel so alone? Then this is the right podcast for you. Hang on and listen because I've got so many exciting tips to be sharing with you to help you get out of that funk. So like I said, after all those social events in January, so many of us sit for months and months and months in a bit of a weird transformation phase. Like we've got all of these vision boards, all of these resolutions that we want to complete. Maybe we've already managed to get ourselves back into the gym, but maybe we haven't. Maybe we told ourselves on the 31st of January that this was going to be the year that we are going to make a change. Maybe you even created your resolutions before you hit January, which is incredible. But maybe you are coming to the end of January right now and you're thinking, right, I told myself I was going to go to the gym and I yet am to step foot into a gym and it's going to be February before we know it. So what can I do? You're wondering where all your friends are because everyone is in the same boat right now, whether you know it or not. We are all feeling the same way. We've all come out of a really big festive period where we've been around our friends and family so much. And now to have that solitude where you're just spending time alone, there's nowhere near as many social events to take part in. There's nothing really to get excited about other than Easter, which is months and months away. And you're just kind of wondering, what on earth is this period? Or maybe you are somebody who actually, because you've spent so much time with your friends and family over the Christmas period, you're actually reflecting back on those friendships and relationships and thinking, do I actually have anything in common with these people that I have just spent so much time with? If you are one of those girls, I honestly get it. Years ago, that was me. I was in a position where it was almost a habit that I would just hang around the same people, even though those people weren't serving anything to me in my life. We were actually very different people. And either you form different friendships naturally, or you logically and consciously say to yourself, right, the situations which I am surrounding myself in right now are no longer serving me. And I feel like I'm trying to bury myself as a person, because maybe you have had success in a business. Maybe your morals and values are different. Maybe you just don't get that good energy when you're around those people. Whatever it is completely normal as humans to outgrow friendship groups and relationships. If we didn't, we would always be a version of the same person, and you would never show any growth. And how boring would your life be if you were to show up every single day for the whole, let's say, 80 years of your life and nothing ever changes? So if you feel like you are in a place where you do feel alone and you do feel like nobody really gets you and you're kind of going through the motions of life, but no one else is kind of on the same track as you, then I'm here to tell you that that is completely normal. But it's on you from this moment going forward to change the ideal setting for yourself, because you're just as much to blame if you are putting yourself in the same situation day after day, week after week, month after month, or even year after year. If you're seeing the same people every single Christmas and you're making yourself go because it's habit or a routine or a tradition to do that, but those people don't serve you, you don't have to do that. So if your morals and values are different, the first thing you can do is acknowledge the differences. And you will know this by the things that they say, the ideas that they suggest, the things that they talk about. When you don't align with someone's values and morals, it's very hard to have an open and authentic conversation, because you end up arguing because you think two completely different things. And if you think two completely different things, but you don't find a parallel way of talking about those things, you will just end up arguing, which is a lot of bad energy. And energy is literally everything. Energy introduces you when you walk into a room before you even open your mouth. Energy is the way you carry yourself. Energy is the way that you have conversations with people. It is absolutely everything. So next time you have plans to meet someone who you might have outgrown, or maybe their values or morals are different, please remember that you don't have to put yourself in that situation, because alternatively, it is just going to weigh you down. It's going to have a negative effect on your energy, and it's going to make your life a lot harder than if you were just to simply say, actually, no, that's not for me. I'm going to take a step back. So if you are a girly in that position right now and you feel like you are so lost in life, you feel like you're completely alone, or maybe it's a complete opposite and you don't feel lost, and you don't feel alone all of the time, but there are some points in your day where you think, oh, actually, I feel a little bit alone. Like, you could be surrounded by so many people. You could be that person who lights up the whole room when you walk into it, but deep down, you feel like you're lost and alone. The next points I'm going to share with you are key. So if you've got a notepad or you're on your phone listening to this, switch over to your notes and start typing away, because honestly, these are things which I have implemented into my personal development journey, which have actually helped me so much. So the first thing that you need to do if you are feeling lost and alone is to completely find yourself. And it sounds so cliche, because we all want to find ourselves. We all want to find like our best version of ourselves. But genuinely, having that time to be completely alone is the best thing that can happen to you right now if you are feeling lost and alone. Because feeling lost is just a navigation point to tell you that something isn't right in your life right now. If you feel lost, that means some sort of change has to happen in order for you to find yourself again. Being alone is the one thing that you can always count on. Relationships end, people pass away in your life, and eventually you are only going to have yourself. So to enjoy your own company is absolutely key if you're on your personal development journey right now. I coach a lot of people who really struggle to find time to be alone. And when they do find that time to be alone, they have no idea what to do with it. They have to play music. They have to read a book. They have to watch something on TV. They have to distract themselves in some shape or form, because the thought of sitting in their own feelings in silence is absolutely crazy to them. And in fact, it scares a lot of my clients. So this is something which I help people with, because once you conquer your mind and you're able to sit in your thoughts and your feelings, and meditation is an incredible way of being able to do this, you can actually overcome anything in your life. And it's crazy to think that I used to be that person that always had to be busy. I never wanted to sit at home. I would look on social media, I would have FOMO. But looking back now, I actually just want to give that version of me a cuddle, because I thought that was the only way. I thought the only way to be happy was to be surrounded by loads of people and to have loads of things planned and to never have time on my own, because having time on my own was scary, because who wants to be alone? But fast forward 5 years to where I am today, those nights that I spend at my home alone are honestly one of my favourites, because you get time to do anything you want to do. You can relax. You can take a moment. You've actually got time to think about your next steps. And having that time actually allows you to recharge yourself, recharge your social batteries, recharge your mental batteries, just recharge yourself as a person. And it allows you to go forward into other circumstances and situations as your best possible self. And I'm a true believer that it's always about the little things in life. I know with social media, it's so easy to fall into that trap of thinking, wow, they've got that amazing house. Oh my goodness, look at the car they've got. Wow, they've got a baby. Obviously, all these things are incredible, but the smallest of things are actually the things that make me the most happiest. And once you conquer finding joy in the smallest of things, those big things will naturally just come, because everything is just energy. And if you buzz and you enjoy the littlest things, like for me, running a bath after work and getting in it and having a nice soak and reading a book and relaxing and just having pure silence, that to me makes me so happy. And it allows my brain space to actually think, okay, take a moment, especially with like day-to-day life. It can get so busy. No matter what your situation is, there will always be at least 10 minutes in your day where you can spend that time in solitude. And I highly recommend you do that, because that allows you to open your eyes and to take a moment for what you actually want. So many of us are just going through the motions. We're rushing from A to B to C. And then before we know it, the day's over. And we do this every single day. So having time to actually sit in your own company and to be alone is priceless. If you are somebody who does feel alone and maybe you really struggle to just sit in your own company, then there are other alternatives for you. You need to find things which you enjoy. What do you like doing when you're alone? If you weren't going to tell anyone you were doing this, what would be the one thing that you're doing? Are there activities that you could be doing? Are there classes you could sign yourself up to? What are your hobbies? You really need to dive deep into finding exactly what you like. And I'm a firm believer that breakups help you do this. When I broke up with my ex 3 years ago, I really dove deep into what I liked. I think when you're in a relationship, it's so easy to fall into the trap of what the other person wants to do. They'll suggest an activity, and because you love them and because you're with them, you will just say yes, even if it's not something you really want to do. So for me personally, I remember being with my ex, and I am severely allergic to horses. We were in South Africa, and obviously one of the main things that you would do in South Africa is a safari. She suggested going on a horseback safari, which on paper looked incredible. Me completely forgetting that I was allergic to horses, got on the back of this horse and my eyes were streaming. The hay fever was absolutely awful, but I did it anyway because I thought this would be an incredible opportunity. But I was risking my health for that, and nothing is ever worth more than your health. So if you are going through a breakup or you have just come out of a relationship, no matter how short or long it was, Please use this time now to dive deep into what you like. It was only in that moment of time that I was like, I'm going to work on myself. I'm going to work on my physical appearance. I'm going to work on my mental health. And I do believe there is a post-breakup glow up that everyone goes to, because they do have that moment of reflection to say, oh, I settled for so much in that relationship. I compromised on so much. And actually, loads of those things I don't align with. So if you are going through a breakup right now, or you are going through a hard time, remember that there is a silver lining, and this allows you to pour more time into the things that you actually like to do. Another thing that I would highly suggest is to spend less time on social media. I know that so many of us over Christmas, with the amount of time that we would have had spare, would have taken to our phones and started aimlessly scrolling, maybe fallen into that scroll hole. So if you are able to set limits on your phone and be productive when you are on social media, then definitely do that. Because the other night, and I don't really ever watch TV in bed, I binge watched the rest of Fool Me Once. And when I say binge, like, I watched 4 episodes. Those episodes are about 4 hours long. I go to bed usually around 10, latest 11. I was watching that till 1 a.m. and the impact it had on me the next day. I do not suggest anyone does that, because when you know you've got to be up at a certain time the next day, does anyone else do this where they actually count down the hours from the moment they go into bed to the alarm getting off? So I was like, oh my gosh, I'm only going to have 6 hours sleep. And to me, like, I know my body so well, and I need at least 8 hours sleep. So psychologically in my brain, I was already telling myself that I was going to be tired for the next day. So make sure that you are finding things which are productive to you, not counterproductive. Find hobbies which are going to make you feel better in yourself. Maybe join the gym, join a dance class, go running, whatever it is. Make sure you're finding things which are going to uplift you and in turn make you feel better about yourself. One thing as well that I have found to be so helpful in making me feel like I'm not so alone is planning events and having things to look forward to, even if it's a month in advance. I know, being an adult now, it's crazy to try and schedule anything with my friends. Like, you should see us trying to schedule just a brunch. We all have so much going on in our lives and so many different plans, but make sure that you are making time to spend with the people that you love and people whose company you actually enjoy, because it will make all the difference, especially if you are somebody who works, let's say, for example, Monday to Friday, 9 to 5 for someone else, and then you get to the weekend and you really cannot spend time on your own and you're always looking for things to do. Make sure you do have exciting things to look forward to, because, like I said, it is all about the little things. And if you've got something to look forward to, that almost makes your day worthwhile. And I always count down, it's so bad, but I do count down to, like, my Fridays. I never work Fridays, and I've made that like a point this year, because I do firmly believe in having a 3-day weekend. But I know not everyone is this way. But if you have got things to look forward to, it almost speeds up your working week. So make sure you are scheduling in time to spend with family, friends, partners, people whose company you actually enjoy. As well as scheduling in events, I know that something which has helped so many of my clients over the past few years is looking for local communities. So looking for communities of people who have similar mindsets to you. My inbox is always open to anyone who feels like we would get along quite well, who feels like they just need that extra support, or even just to chat sometimes, because I know what it feels like to be completely alone, and it's not a nice place to be. So if you are somebody who feels lost and you do feel alone, please look in your local area for groups or people who have similar hobbies and interests as you. It could be as silly as going to a painting class. Or if you like clay pottery, go into a pottery class. Or if you like Zumba, join a Zumba class. Like, the opportunities genuinely are endless. You just have to put yourself out there and look for them. And people who are nervous, it is going to be an experience which is going to get your blood pumping a little bit if you've never done anything like this before. But the long-term benefits are so worth it. You have to think about how you want your life to look in years to come, or even months to come. And if you know that putting yourself in an uncomfortable situation a few times is going to help you long term, then absolutely do it. There are so many people out there just like you, whether you want to believe that or not. And I know when you're in a particular situation, when you do feel lost and alone, it's very easy to fall into the trap of thinking you are the only person in the world that feels that way. But I promise you right now, you aren't. There are a million other people in the world right now who are feeling exactly the same way as you. I really hope that this podcast has been able to show you that you're never alone and that there are people out there wanting to help you. Like I mentioned before, my inbox on Instagram is always open. And if you do feel like you are alone, please do reach out, because I promise you're not, and I would love to get to know you better. Thank you once again for choosing to listen to Master Your Mindset. All of your views and reviews mean the world to me. So if you've enjoyed what you've listened to today, please feel free to take a screenshot and share it on your social media platforms. And don't forget to tag me at IsisFoster1 if you are sharing it on Instagram. I hope you all have a beautiful week, and remember, you're not alone. Thank you all so much for tuning in to Master Your Mindset with your host, me, Isis Foster. If you have enjoyed what I have shared with you today, I would really appreciate it if you could share it on your social media platforms and tag me at IsisFoster1. My goal with creating this podcast is to reach as many people as possible and help them get to wherever they want to be. So if you're in that position of being able to share this, it would be very much appreciated. Can't wait for you to tune in to the next podcast episode. Have an amazing week.